The worst part is I don't even know like what to do on the stream. I thought I do this out of honor for him. I thought I'd do this out of honor for him, and I don't even know what to do. Like, what would be honorable? What would even be honorable? Yeah, but what am I supposed to do? Like I want to carry on, but I'll look like a freaking jerk. I kind of have, but like I don't. I wanted to stream. I wanted to stream out of his honor, but I just don't know what to do for the stream. I don't know what to do for the stream. Hey, King. Hey there, King. I don't even know what to do for the stream, to be honest. Like, yes. Alright, what's this?
New Sour Patch Kids heads. Those flavors in one.
It's an entertainment I produce for some friends once a month. Members only, so to speak. The first fight at 15,000. The second, 20 plus the right to bet. We had one chap who, after fees and betting on himself, got up to $500,000 a fight. That's only if you win, of course.
Well, how'd you get to win?
It's to the death.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So
This is honestly amazing.
Together. And you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it has to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy
This is not bad. Come on, Kim. This is amazing. This is freaking beautiful. That was amazing.
The more you collect, the more you make. We get rich, you get rich.
Just to be clear, we run this neighborhood.
The average mom have nothing except Hell's Kitchen.
I know you're not looking for trouble, but trouble
Well,
might
whatever,
come looking
King.
for you.
You go to war,
Whatever, King.
there's no coming
Hi,
back.
Roddy. Hi, Roddy.
Guys taking care of you?
I'm taking care of myself.
Kitchen. Rated R. August 9th.
Roddy. I don't know. Hi, Roddy. I mean, hi, hi, John. Hi, John.
If you're watching this video, you've probably heard the news that Etika has passed away. He committed suicide. I don't want to make this video because I don't want to accept his death. I don't want to make this video because I'm so angry. My heart is filled with so much anger right now. If you weren't aware, I've made 3 videos on Etika in the past 8 months since his breakdowns began evolving. Titled, what is happening to Etika, and my most recent, as a month ago or so, was titled Etika Needs Help. And in each video, the ideas were it was to inform people of what was going on, and what I tried to repeat constantly, non-stop, is that Etika is not of his right mind, and he fucking needs our help. My hope was that people would watch these videos and realize how serious this issue is, and for them to stop making jokes and memes and making fun of him. I feel like I saw the signs, and I tried everything I could to help and support him, and I couldn't stop him from taking his life. I'm angry because now everyone wants to change tunes, Now everyone wants to pay attention finally. Now everyone wants to take things seriously, Everyone wants wants to promote suicide hotlines and mental health awareness,
Yeah,
and
Streets of
finally
Rage 2,
speak the
that's a good game. Streets of Rage 2 is a very good game. That, someone came downstairs and they were talking to me and all that. Sorry about that. Man, this browser. It's not working. Yeah, me too, King.
Wait! 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 Nine, Goku! Oh my god. Oh my god. Who? Banjo Kazooie! Oh shit! It's a wrap! They put the... You duck hunt that cunt motherfucker! Y'all trolling everybody! Banjo Kazooie is in this bitch! I don't even know these niggas!
Alright,
I don't
see you,
fuck with
Ready.
them, but hey!
See you,
They
Ready.
had it!
See you, Ready.
Ah! It's over! Nintendo got E3! Nintendo locked down E3! It's over! 2019! 2019, boys! It's a wrap! They did it! You manifested it! It happened! Banjo! Wow! This nigga looks annoying as all shit. It's over. He's fucking everybody up. Yo, Krill, shout outs, bro. We did it. We bought Banjo to Smash. Now, we drink. Tonight, we dine in hell. Tonight, boys, we party.
Yeah,
We celebrate.
2019's not.
Tonight, we live big. Tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too. Uh, I'll be over you guys a lot. I guess we just want us to be.
So you've got this special week planned.
Yeah. It's sort of a crazy festival.
Skål!
This only happens every 90 years.
That sounds fun. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Here we go.
Hey, before we start our smashing adventure, I first want to talk about today's awesome sponsor, ExpressVPN. If you don't know, a VPN is a virtual private other devices you have. You can perfect for private accounts. $7 a month, you can get 3 months of the waffle. There's a ton of different characters in the Smash Bros. Series. Some that are Nintendo icons, others that got a well-needed revival, total shockers to the series, characters that made me fall in love, whatever the Piranha Plant is. But today we're going to be talking about a different type of character. The characters that for one reason or another, never saw the light of day. Yup, I'm of course talking about cancelled or unused characters that Father Sakurai himself struck down with a ferocity so strong it made Geno fans all around the world weep a single tear. That's not me though, I'm okay. There's still hope, right? Gah! Compose yourself! So yeah, let's check out some cancelled and unused characters throughout Smash Bros. History. Starting our journey with the original Super Smash Bros. On the N64, there actually weren't too many cut characters. Bowser and King Dedede were both being worked on for about half of the development of the game, but were then eventually scrapped for unknown reasons, until making their debut in Melee and Brawl respectively. Marth is another character who was considered to join the initial roster, to add another sword-wielding character, but due to limited development time, there just wasn't enough time to add him in. Mewtwo was also planned, but never got farther than the Sakurai sitting at home eating dinner thinking, yeah, I should put Mewtwo in Smash phase. Yeah, I mean, hey, it was the 90s. Pokemon Mania was running wild, brother! So, the more Pokemon, the merrier. And that's about it when it comes to the OG Smash Bros. All in all, I'd say it was a pretty smooth process in terms of the character roster. Sure, there were a few that had to get scrapped for one reason or another, but they all found their way in eventually. You see? Good things come to those who wait, remember that, Waluigi fans. But now we've reached Super Smash Bros. Melee, where things get a little more interesting. Some more cancelled characters that would eventually find their way into the series included Wario, Sonic, Lucas, and Snake. Lucas was actually meant to straight up replace Ness as the Mother series representative in the game. However, due to Mother 3 being in quote-unquote development hell, Ness was brought back instead. Wario was also planned, but get this. Sakurai was afraid of over-representation of a series.
What?
Meaning, too many characters from a single game series. He's obviously had a change of heart now, considering there's 86 million Fire Emblem characters in Smash, meaning too many characters from a single game series. He's obviously had a change of heart now, considering there's 86 million Fire Emblem characters in Smash.
Of course you remember.
Mark, Roy, Rom, Robin. And I get it!
There was also a famous rumor that James Bond from GoldenEye 007 was planned to be a character in the game. How weird is that? Sure, GoldenEye was one of the most beloved first-person shooters on the console, and a game that I still go back to this day, but how out of place would that look? James Bond in Melee? This British spy who shoots a gun and sleeps with multiple women, battling it out with the likes of Mario and Pikachu? What would James Bond even do in the game? Slap people around and then pull out an AK-47? That sounds amazing, actually. However, James Bond's inclusion was nothing more than a rumor. Sakurai never stated that James Bond would be in the game.
What, no small talk? No chit-chat?
The Ice Climbers were added in as a retro throwback character. However...
Yeah, I know about that. I remember hearing about this. It was, they wanted to put a retro throwback character in, so they actually, asked people, oh, what would you like most? Ice Climbers, a Sight Bite, or a Psych Bite, or something like that.
Some other characters that were considered for that spot included Balloon Fighter, Urban Champion, Bubbles from Clu Clu Land, and...
Well, I forgot about Urban Fighter and the Bubbles guy, but I remember Balloon Fighter, but it was in the back of my head.
And even Excite Bike.
Yeah,
yeah, could you imagine a character always being on a motorcycle? I'm sure that wouldn't get annoying at all.
Oh my god!
Ayumi Tachibana. Does that name ring a bell? Probably not, which is exactly why she didn't make the...
Well, I actually know about her. I know about her because of Melee. I know her actually because of Melee. Because she has a trophy in Melee, and it's apparently this Japanese-only game or something.
Final cut. It's been confirmed that
That's pretty sad, though. Come on, that's not fair. If they wanted to put her in the game, why not put her in the game, even if she's not popular? Maybe it's kind of like Fire Emerald, to be honest.
Ayumi Tachibana from the Famicom Tantai Club series was considered to be in Melee. The game was released on the Famicom Disk System and was an adventure game where you would need to solve the mysterious murder that has taken place in your high school.
Oh, Jesus, it's a murder mystery game? Holy crap.
Yeah, perfect for this colorful Nintendo crossover game. James Bond isn't looking too out of place now. Sakurai stated that she wasn't included in the game simply because not a lot of people would most likely know who she was, considering the game was never released outside of Japan. The last character we'll be talking about from...
I mean, not many people knew Fire Emblem when Martha and Roy was in... So Joker before Joker, okay.
Melee is Mach Rider! During an interview, a fan asked Sakurai who he would personally like to see in Melee. His response? Mach Rider! This was, however, most likely a joke, as he said he wanted to include him based on his funny name. That's right, Sakurai was the original troll. Yeah, before you all started talking about wanting Shrek and Goku in Smash, Sakurai was ahead of the game. When asked about Banjo and Kazooie being in Melee, all Sakurai said was... In Smash, Sakurai was ahead of the... Yeah, before you all started... That's right, Sakurai was the original troll. Yeah,
I didn't even notice that because I was looking at the chat.
Funny name. That's right, Sakurai was the original troll. Yeah, before you all started talking about wanting Shrek and Goku in Smash, Sakurai was ahead of the game. When asked about Banjo and Kazooie being in Melee, all Sakurai said was... Yeah, this video was made before the announcement, but we're still gonna talk about it because it's an interesting piece of history. Due to adult reasons, it would be unlikely. This most likely refers to copyright issues due to Rare being bought out by Microsoft. So, in the...
Well, maybe Sakurai just trying to... Well, you know, maybe the Japanese finds it funny, you don't know.
The words of Banjo himself...
This sucks, they like Oh, Brawl had a lot of cut characters. They had Dixie Kong, those two little, the two twin Pokemon, like the mouse Pokemon, the red and blue ones. Roy and Mewtwo. I think there's more too.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl, a game that a lot of people really didn't like.
I
But
loved
I
it
did.
though.
I'll always stand up for you, Brawl. This
Connor. Yeah, Plucy and Minion. Plucy and Minion was considered for Brawl. Yeah, they were considered for Brawl, John. It's in the data files. It's in like in the files of the game. There's like freaking folders for them.
This was the first Smash game to start cutting characters that were in previous entries, including Roy, Mewtwo, and Dr. Mario, just to name a few. But the most interesting cut character was Dixie Kong. Making her debut in Donkey Kong Country.
Hey, Plucy?
Country 2, Dixie quickly became one of the most beloved Kongs in the Kong family. With her sassy bubblegum blowing self, she would use her hair as propellers. Nice! She actually had a working prototype at one point, and was initially envisioned to have a tag team mechanic with Diddy, similar to the gameplay in the Donkey Kong Country series.
I didn't know about that.
However, due to complications, she was eventually scrapped, and Diddy instead made his debut as a full character.
Come on, talk about...
Villager and Mii Fighter were also planned, but...
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard about like the Villager one.
But Soccer, I felt like they weren't meant to be fighting game characters. I'd say Mii Fighters would have been the best choice. I mean, come on, creating a Mii was one of the most fun things to do when we first got our Wiis. Taking control of them in Wii Sports and Wii Play was so cute and charming. So, also being able to play as them in Smash Bros. Would have been the icing on the cake for this.
You can't forget Mario Kart.
Console. Alright, time for some Pokemon, because hey,
There we go, here we go. I was about to say, like, oh wait, no.
Creatures and causing absolute brutality. Blastoise, everyone loves cake for this console.
Rude.
Alright, time for some Pokemon, because hey, everyone loves taking control of cute little creatures and causing absolute brutality.
I don't like
Blastoise was originally meant to be a part of Pokemon Trainer's team.
I did not know that.
But was later swapped out for Squirtle in favor of having Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard to represent the 3 stages of evolution in Pokemon. That makes sense. But I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't love to play as this absolute unit! After Brawl's release, there were some files found in the game titled Pra and Mai, which led many people to believe that Plusle and Minun were planned to be in the game, due to the fact that Pra was the first syllable of Plusle's Japanese name, and Mai was the first syllable of Minun's Japanese name. It's still unknown, however, if that's what the file name was implying. Hey, remember Gino? I do. I'll never forget.
Yep. The audio file for the freaking you know, like that one song from Mario RPG, you know, the that song? Well, it's in the game files for Brawl. Or like a remix of it or something. Like it's in the game files, but it's unused. It goes unused. So, you know, people theorize maybe he was considered a playable character at one point and he had a stage. So
Super Mario RPG was one of the most creative, charming, and beloved RPGs on the Super Nintendo. It did the unthinkable, turning this into a turn-based RPG. Like I said though, it worked amazingly well and introduced a new cast of lovable characters, one of which being Gino,
well, I knew it was like Forest something, but I wasn't sure. Yep, Forest Maze, that's what it was. I was thinking it was Forest Maze, but I thought I would be wrong. But, hiya there, Xenorose. Hi there, Xenorose. How you doing there, Xenorose? I've never seen you here before. Are you here because of the Joy-Con boy thing? If so... Miss him, man. Freaking miss him.
warrior sent by a higher power to assist Mario in the battle against evil. Geno was considered for Brawl due to his high popularity with the fan base. Heck, even Sakurai himself thought Geno would be a cool addition, with his arm cannon making him a unique character. However, it's completely unknown as to why he was cut from the game, and Sakurai has never elaborated.
I see, yeah, Rip Etika. He was a good man. He was a freaking very good man, and I'm gonna miss him. He was just freaking. I loved his streams. He just seemed like a great guy. It's really sad that all went down. But I think he would want us to continue on. That's exactly what he asked for. He asked for us to keep moving or whatever it was.
On the reason. That's not good enough. I need answers. My heart weeps at this mystery.
Well, I'm glad you're here, though. I'm really glad you're here.
Smash for Wii U.
I'm glad to have any other new viewers. I'm glad to have any new viewers.
Yes. Not too much going on here in terms of unused characters. Most famously being cut were the Ice Climbers. Sakurai stated that he and the development team were having issues programming the duo to work properly on the 3DS. Sakurai stated that he and the development team were having issues programming the duo to work properly on the 3DS. So, instead of just having them be Wii U exclusive characters, they were cut entirely.
Yeah, because I remember Sakurai saying, like, you didn't think it would be fair. Like, if, only one console got a character, which is pretty fair, to be honest.
Chrom was also considered to be in the game, but the team ultimately decided against having another blue-haired swordsman in the game, being replaced with Robin. But fear not, Chrom fans!
Chrom, on my mark.
See? He's totally in the game. Takumaru from the mysterious Murasame Castle and Heihachi from Tekken were more considered characters. But
Really? Really? I think I, vaguely heard about the Heihachi one. I might be wrong, though. I don't think I remember, but I did not know the other dude.
Ultimately were turned into assist trophies and Mii costumes.
I'm a big Tekken nerd, so, I think I may have, vaguely heard about Heihachi, but I'm not sure.
Respectively. Same with Chrom, also being turned into a Mii costume. Don't toy with my heart like this. What's next? You gonna take my boy Lloyd Irving and turn him into a Mii costume?
No.
Alright, let's go.
None of you will ever truly understand my pain. And finally, we've reached the most recent installment in the series, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And, well, everyone is here! Almost everyone. Alucard from Castlevania Symphony of the Night was considered to be a playable character.
Oh, he was?
Considering that
I really want an Alucard. I really want an Alucard. And I don't want to unpause this. I don't want to unpause this video right here because I feel like I know what's about to happen when I press spacebar. I feel like I know what's about to happen in the gameplay. I feel like I know. And I don't.
Symphony of
Oh
the Night was one of the most popular Castlevania games, despite not being on a Nintendo console. But Sakurai wanted a Belmont to be playable instead, which makes sense. Smash Bros. Is a celebration of iconic video game mascots, and with no Simon,
I didn't know Alucard was cut. I thought he was just gonna be assist trophy. I thought he was gonna be assist trophy all along. I didn't know he was cut.
Castlevania Legacy. Probably, I don't know. And instead, Alucard got the unfortunate fate of becoming an assist trophy. And those were pretty much the characters that were cut, considered, or just simply unused throughout Smash Bros. History. Which of these would you have loved to see make the final cut? And why is the correct answer?
Well, honestly, I think all of those would be cool. All the characters that didn't get in would have been cool. It would have been interesting. Yeah, me too. I love Alucard. Alucard's a cool, I think Alucard's a cool character. Alucard's really cool because, you know, I think he's the coolest, like, Castlevania protagonist. But, anyways, as I was saying, I think, I think all those characters that weren't ever included, I think they would have been interesting. Like, that Ayumi girl in Melee, that would have been interesting. Because, like, what would her moveset be? And you know what? I feel like if they did put her in Melee, oh yeah, totally. I think Gino definitely has a chance. Gino has a chance to smash Ultimate. I think he might be one of the DLC characters, the new, because I mean he is third party. He is like third party in a form since Square owns him. So I feel Gino could happen. But as I was saying, that Ayumi girl, like, I feel like if they put her in, I feel like if they put her in Melee, if they put Ayumi in Melee, her game would have become popular. I think her game would have been like, if they put her in Melee, then they would have localized that game, and that game would have became popular. Because I think that's what happened with Fire Emblem. Well, actually, it is with Fire Emblem. It was like we didn't get a Fire Emblem game yet, but they were like, we don't want to leave out any characters in the American version. But they were considering making them exclusive Japanese version. But at last second, they were like, put them in the American version. So they did that, and then things happened, and then Fire Emblem became localized over here because they were like, hey, we gotta, because we have to give the Americans the game too. So it was like that.
Gino. Or not me, Lloyd. Where is the justice?
Where do you get off? Don't even start spewing the word justice. I hate that word.
Sorry.
I hate that word. I hate that word.
Glass Joe is tied with Gabby J
Yay!
for the most prolific career. Glass Joe is tied with Gabby J
Yay!
for the most prolific career in the entire Punch-Out series, sharing a record of 99 losses and 1 win. A few weeks ago, a viewer asked me if I could make a video about Glass Joe's 1 win. I'm sorry I didn't save the comment and now it's lost in the mishmash of all the other comments on my other videos, but you remember who you are. And this was something that I had never really thought about. In Punch-Out, the records were always something that I always just kind of glossed over. But if you really think about it, there has never been a bigger bum in the history of boxing than Glass Joe. You know, he's the guy they put in Punch-Out so that an absolute beginner can get used to playing the game. You have to really, really try to lose to Glass Joe. Or, be one of these kids.
He's gassed.
I think get up and
Dodge the right way.
Or Mike Tyson himself. Kids. Really, really try to lose to Glass Joe. Or, be one of these kids.
Oh,
He's gassed.
Dodge the right way.
Or Mike Tyson himself.
I couldn't even be Glass. I couldn't be Glass Joe.
Although, granted, Mike Tyson did get his win back. The point is, for Glass Joe to even have a single victory, there have to be some really exceptional circumstances. It's clear that Nintendo put that win in there for a reason, but who is it against? What seems like the obvious answer at first would be the win is probably against Gabby J.
Yay!
Funny thing is, Gabby J actually has one victory of his own. Let's read about it. Born in Paris, Gabby J originally was a waiter at a small cafe near the Eiffel Tower. However, one day, something snapped and he felt the need to become a professional boxer. After graduating from the Glass Joe Boxing School,
By KOing Glass Joe, his one win, he entered the professional circuit. So Glass Joe is so bad that he even got beaten by Gabby J. And that's not to say that Glass Joe couldn't have possibly gotten his win back, but it just doesn't seem that likely. Another theory about Glass Joe's single victory comes from the old Nintendo comics made by Valiant. In 1990 and 1991, Valiant Comics produced a series called Nintendo Comic System. In this series, there were 4 flagship titles: Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Game Boy, and Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Game Boy, and Captain N the Game Master. In these books, sometimes they would have stories between the main stories featuring other Nintendo games. And one of these issues featured a Punch-Out comic entitled The First Fight. This comic tells the story of how Little Mac came to meet Doc Lewis. After suffering what appears to be yet another loss, Little Mac gets told off by a promoter who tells him that he should just give up boxing. Doc Lewis interrupts this conversation and takes Little Mac under his wing. What makes this comic relevant to the mystery of who Glass Joe beat is that if we look at this panel, we see a boxer who very much looks to be Glass Joe knocking out Little Mac. And we get an even better look on the next page when Mac gets his comeuppance. And that'd justify the promoter's reaction in this comic. If you're so bad that you get beaten by Glass Joe giving him his first and only win, you're not cut out for this. But the thing about this is, like many of the Valiant comics, this story contradicts the established canon of the game. Because according to the official story of Punch-Out, Little Mac hadn't even started boxing until he came to meet Doc Lewis and begin his training. And the 0-0 record that Little Mac starts the game with corroborates this fact. If there had ever been an encounter between Little Mac and Glass Joe before the first Punch-Out game, it wasn't sanctioned by the WVBA. But there's another suspect who could potentially have been the person who Glass Joe beat, and that's where the story gets kinda complicated. In an issue of the official Nintendo magazine, one of the programmers for Punch-Out stated that Glass Joe's single victory came from Nick Bruiser. Nick Bruiser, of course, being the final opponent in Super Punch-Out. And Glass Joe, of course, doesn't appear in Super Punch-Out, so now we have lore that's spanning across the entire Punch-Out series. And that should be enough to settle it, right? We've got a Nintendo...
Oh jeez, really? That sounds terrible.
Insider telling us that that victory came when Glass Joe somehow defeated Nick Bruiser, but it's more complicated than that. You see, despite the claim by the programmer that Glass Joe had beaten Nick Bruiser and that's where his one victory came from, if we look at Nick Bruiser's record, he has no losses. So let's take a moment to figure out where this discrepancy could come from. The first thing I considered is that the Punch-Out games, they each feature a number of different circuits. It's possible that maybe different circuits had a different governing body. It would be strangely complicated for it to work out that way, but maybe one body recognizes the fight while another doesn't. But that's not the case, because if we look at every single circuit in the Punch-Out series, they're all governed by the WVBA, or World Video Boxing Association. It's possible that maybe between Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out,
Well, guys, I gotta freaking end the stream now. Dad's telling me to go to bed because I gotta get up early tomorrow morning. Sorry, guys, I really want to keep streaming, but he's saying I have to go to bed now because I have work tomorrow morning. Not everyone. Yep, night you too. Night.